Hello, I'm Allison Seymour, and welcome to The Color of STEM. The Color of STEM was created to advance science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, education, and inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers. Our series will also showcase the contributions of people of color in modern-day science and engineering, and how they continue to impact this global marketplace. We'll look at high school, middle, and elementary school programs and how they approach STEM education and why it's important to start early. But when we return, we'll meet this week's Color of STEM personality, Tyrone Taborn, the chairman and CEO of the Career Communications Group, founded in 1985. His partnerships with HBCUs have helped to establish his company's authenticity. We'll be back in a moment.
I believe as a society we get what we celebrate.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Super Bowl of STEM.
It's one small step for man, giant leap for mankind.
If you want to change the world, become an engineer.
If you look at the biggest companies in America, almost all of them are science, technology, engineering, and math.
The only reason I got a chance to do this is because of a dream. It opened my eyes to a different world.
You cannot wake up through the morning and get through the day without specifically being impacted by science, technology, engineering, and math.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. Dr. Taborn's firm also publishes a number of magazines: the U.S. Black Engineer and Information Technology magazine, the Women of Color Technology magazine, and the Hispanic Engineer and Information Technology magazine, the nation's oldest general interest technology magazine for the Hispanic community. Let's meet Dr. T.
In a digital age, you would think that magazines weren't important, but they're even more important, I have found. Our publications, U.S. Black Engineer Information Technology, Hispanic Engineer Information Technology, Women of Color, those magazines still resonate very strongly in the community, despite as much progress as we feel that we've made. The vast majority of the coverage of people of color is not positive. And so until mass media decides to tell everybody's story, we have a very, very special place in this society.
Career Communications Group's 20th Anniversary Women of Color STEM Conference recognized outstanding women in the STEM fields and provides excellent opportunities for professional development, networking, and recruiting.
The 20th year for Women of Color is really amazing for me, having seen all of these great women throughout the year. You know, we just launched the campaign, STEM is a Girl Thing, and it really is important to encourage our young women to look at careers in the STEM area, science, technology, engineering, and math. But let me say this, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And what do we mean by that? Look at the Vice Chief of Naval Operation, Michelle Howard, the first woman to become a 4-star admiral in the Navy. She's the second highest ranking person there. She's a woman of color. And she's also a woman of color and STEM award winner. When you come to the Women of Color Conference, the first thing you get is a support network. Now the next thing you get are some of the smartest people you ever want to meet, giving their time, doing seminars, telling you how to succeed professionally. And when they walk in there, they don't see one woman, they don't see two, they see thousands. And they know that they can do it.
Tyrone's Black Engineer of the Year Award Conference is easily the most anticipated diversity event of the year. In attendance are college representatives and thousands of elite professionals and students from across the country.
The Black Engineer of the Year Conference was actually created by the dean of Morgan State University. Joining us was the dean of Howard more than 30 years ago. It was created for one reason, to make sure that the students at the HBCUs at that time had a fair shot at opportunities in the nation's companies. So we sat down and we put together an idea, back of a kitchen napkin basically. And it was that how would we expose these young people to successful role models who look like them in the fields of engineering? And that was the beginning of Baya. And the thought at the time was that we were also going to make sure that Morgan University had a strong program, because prior to the School of Engineering, the state didn't have a School of Engineering at an HBCU. They said there weren't enough black students in the state who would even want to go into engineering. Oh, they were so wrong. Baya then grew into what you see today. It's the Engineering Dean's Power Breakfast. It's the Stars and Stripes Military Recognition Award for African American top leaders. Obviously, it's the big event, the Black Engineer of the Year Awards. We have the Baya Student Awards, and I call that the Baby Bayas. But on Friday, it's so fun to watch all of these young engineers and scientists walk across the stage for the Modern Day Technology Awards. So the Engineering Dean's Breakfast brings together those forward-thinking companies that have pulled out their checkbook and said, I can find Ed Welburn, who is the top designer for General Motors, who graduated from Howard University. I can find him from an HBCU. I can find other leaders in my companies. They're right now at HBCUs. The Engineering Dean's Breakfast facilitates that meaningful discussion between those companies that are absolutely committed to finding the best talent that they can out there. You know, success is at every step of your life. And Baya is now that kind of program where no matter where you are in life, there's an opportunity that your success can be recognized.
We'll be back in a moment.
Florida Memorial University's mission is to train global citizens through lifelong learning opportunities.
Florida Memorial in itself is a gem. I think that we've come on through a path of struggle, and that's something that we pride ourselves on.
I think the motto that we live by, which is leadership, character, and service, is one thing that I'm going to take with me throughout my matriculation of the rest of my life.
One thing I'll never forget that I've learned here is to persevere and to be diligent about what I've set my mind out to do.
We are proud of our long tradition and look forward to a future filled with promise for our students, our staff, our faculty, and our alums.
I could have sent my children to any school around the country, but we chose Texas Southern because they were interested in educating these children.
Any field that you leave Texas Southern with a degree in that you decide to pursue, you're not there because it's sympathetic. You're there because you're one of the best.
I'm Michael Strahan, and I am Texas Southern University.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. The Color of STEM continues.
4 decades ago, Doctors Lewis Brown, Hugh Gloucester, and Louis Sullivan dreamed of a minority-serving institution, a medical school that would educate and train primary care doctors who would serve their communities and underserved populations in Georgia and throughout the country. Their dream was realized when the School of Medicine at Morehouse College was established in 1975.
The idea of the Morehouse School of Medicine was really quite entrancing. Hugh Gloucester, the president of Morehouse College, thought this was indeed a brilliant idea because they said if there was any place in the country where another black medical school should be located is in Atlanta. There was a shortage of black physicians. Louis Brown had been a member of a committee that pointed out that Georgia had 28% of its citizens who were African American, but only 2% of the doctors in Georgia at that time. So he urged the development of this school to address both those issues, the health of blacks as well as the shortage of black physicians.
From its humble beginnings as a 2-year medical college housed in temporary trailers, Morehouse School of Medicine is a top producer of African American physicians, researchers, and healthcare professionals.
This is an institution with a very specific purpose. People who come here are attracted to this institution because of that focus, and that purpose being to serve the underserved, to make sure that the least among us who are in the greatest need are the ones who get our greatest gifts in terms of the quality of health that we can deliver.
With a charter class of 24 promising students in a basic 2-year medical sciences program, Morehouse School of Medicine has grown to a 4-year, fully accredited program with over 300 diverse, academically focused MD, graduate, and public health students. 40 years later, MSM remains true to its original mission, not simply training students to treat the physical condition, but demanding that they bear a moral commitment to helping their communities, a critical philosophy in improving the health of all Americans.
This place puts in people the kinds of things they will need to be successful in life, be successful as a professional, and make a difference in their communities. What I reflect on is the people here, the values that they embrace, the commitment to a single purpose, and that is improving the lives of individuals and families in the communities, especially those in vulnerable areas of this country.
A relatively young institution, MSM's legacy of national leadership is unprecedented. Notable alumni and faculty include 2 United States Surgeon Generals, 1 Secretary of Health and Human Services, and 6 members of the Distinguished Institute of Medicine. MSM alumni continue to make meaningful contributions in primary care, medical education, government service, and HIV/AIDS research programs throughout the nation and in Africa.
Research at Morehouse School of Medicine is central to who we are. And our focus areas of research includes cancer, cardiovascular disorders, neuroscience, and HIV/AIDS and other infectious diseases.
Morehouse Healthcare is home to more than 200 physicians who are the cornerstone of Morehouse School of Medicine's firm commitment to compassionate patient care in the city of Atlanta. MSM physicians also provide professional services to 6 Atlanta facilities, including Grady Health System, the largest health system in the state of Georgia and one of the largest in the country. Morehouse School of Medicine's ascension as a key influencer and thought leader is evidenced by its many partnerships and alliances with internationally recognized powerhouse organizations and think tanks, including the CDC, the National Institutes of Health, and the Kennedy Forum.
I believe that partnerships are critical for sustainability. We have always tried to take that approach. We wrote the book on community-based partnerships for research. So I'm very pleased with the new partnership that we have with the Kennedy Forum, which established with the Morehouse School of Medicine, the Kennedy Center for Mental Health Research and Policy. It's a tremendous opportunity, which we are pursuing vigorously.
Under the leadership of the Institute's first female president, Dr. Valerie Montgomery Rice, Morehouse School of Medicine is on a path of unprecedented and transformational growth with a bold vision, leading the creation and advancement of health equity, a natural evolution of the founder's original vision.
We are a young institution, but we are committed to the advancement and creation of health equity, and we recognize that it cannot be done overnight. We're ready to put in not just the next 40 years, but the next 100 years, because we know that if we achieve our goal and are able to realize this vision, Morehouse School of Medicine will be surrounded by communities, will be surrounded by individuals who have realized their optimal state of health. And that is what we are about here at this great institution. We are on a mission. Morehouse School of Medicine has the capacity to be the leader in this space. And I would hope that 40 years from now, there will be no question that the recognition goes not to an individual, but because a vision was forged that was informed by multiple stakeholders, and that we all worked as a team to accomplish the goal.
We'll be back in a moment.
I believe as a society we get what we celebrate.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Super Bowl of STEM.
It's one small step for man, giant leap for mankind.
If you want to change the world, become an engineer.
If you look at the biggest companies in America, almost all of them are science, technology, engineering, and math.
The only reason I got a chance to do this is because of a dream. It opened my eyes to a different world.
You cannot wake up through the morning and get through the day without specifically being impacted by science, technology, engineering, and math.
Welcome back to The Color of STEM. The Color of STEM continues.
HBCUs are keeping the faith. Black churches are still providing inspiration for students as they prepare for this global marketplace.
Many of our HBCUs started out of the church with the expectation that the students who they would send out to HBCUs would come back and work in the church and work in the community to be the teachers and the politicians and the clergy. That was a great expectation.
The same expectations exist today to lead our communities. Every Sunday, thousands of HBCU students are attending neighborhood churches to deepen their faith.
Sunday morning, I'm gonna get on that bus, take a 15-minute nap on the way to church, and then I'm just be ready for service.
When I feel like I can't handle it anymore, or I'm just over it, I go back to my faith, I go to church, and it just gives me that extra push I need just to keep me going.
So it's great to come to a historically Black college, and it's great to hear about the efforts and the history of African Americans, but it's also really affirming to be able to know that you, as a Black person from the diaspora, are included in what it means to learn and to serve.
One of the things that the church has done historically is been concerned about the issues which affects society, social issues which affect society. So it's one thing for me to get educational advancements, but it's another thing to be able to take that education and now see how can I impact the community. And I see the church being able to still help into bridging that gap. We have realized the importance of technology. So we, of course, have computer rooms. We have whiteboards. We have a robotics program. We received a grant for a robotics program. So we're trying to really encourage youngsters at the earliest stages to be concerned about science, technology, engineering, mathematics, because those are such critical areas. And so we want to start developing at them early so that they will not have a fear. Of course, one of the fears, I can't do math. Science is too complicated for me. Engineering is out of the question. We are excited about the kind of the possibilities for our youngsters, and so we want to give them resources which are going to help them as they will transition from here. We go through the 8th grade, so they're going to have to go to high school somewhere else, but we want to at least give them the tools that they can succeed.
Coding is the in thing now. It's teaches you about programming. The video kind of like helps you to understand what you're about to do, what kind of coding you're going to be doing. What do you want?
Tinker.
The Tinker one? So you creating a game?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The thing is with STEM, there's a lot of opportunities for everybody. You may think maybe this one, when you have, for me, when I'm a chemistry major, I'm not limited in medicine. I could do research if I wanted to. I can be a pharmacist. I can have so many options for me. So for minorities especially, to keep open many doors for you, you have to, put yourself in STEM where you can just see so many things that you would never think were possible. So I think it's really important to encourage our younger students, our younger siblings to look into STEM and see whatever things you can do with your life, what really speaks to you, because you'll see so many opportunities for yourself.
The Black Church continues to provide career leadership opportunities, particularly in the area of STEM that is often perceived as a male-dominated career.
It's no less a male-dominated field than what you allow it to be. I was like, this is what I enjoy doing. I was like, why can't women in STEM, change that perspective or whatever? Why can't more women want to code? Why can't more girls want to do the sciences and the maths and things? And it's like, that's what I'm helping to combat. I want you guys to I want the young girls to be able to code. I want you to be that face. I was like, for me, I didn't have a whole lot of that. There weren't a lot of people that looked like me in my field, being a woman or being African American in general. So for me, it's kind of like, I need to be that face. I need to be that person for someone else. And I'm encouraging my mentees and the other girls and stuff that I interact with to get in this field so that you can lead by example and be that for someone else. So.
When you go to an institution that is steeped in our culture and our tradition, there is a level of respect of our ancestors that we have that is not seen in other institutions.
We'll be back in a moment.
The hopes and dreams of America's college students are dying. The Thurgood Marshall College Fund supports the 47 public, historically Black colleges and universities. 80% of all students attending an HBCU are doing so on public HBCU campuses. With your help, TMCF can continue to be the lifeline of nearly 300,000 diverse students. Visit our website today to make a donation to help these very deserving students. The Thurgood Marshall College Fund, where education pays off.
More from our Color of STEM series.
Danielle Battle, District of Columbia Public Schools STEM Design Specialist, tells us why the M in STEM, or math, is the magical one.
If you look at STEM, and a lot of people I think tend to gravitate towards the science and the engineering because that's the more glamorous of them all. But when you really break it down, if you're doing physics, if you're doing anything, it's really hard to do it if your math skill set is low, even outside of STEM, just day-to-day life. When you look at STEM, the idea is that when kids are taught math well at an early age, they start to see patterns. They start to notice things so that when you're in a science class, when you're watching Petri dishes or anything, when you're recording your information, the information is speaking to you before you're even starting to really pick it apart, because you've learned to look for patterns. You have that deep number sense that a lot of people take for granted. They look at kindergarten and think, it's kindergarten. You learn your numbers, you move on. But when you're 5 and 4, that's abstract. That's a crazy concept. And so a big part of STEM, me educating STEM teachers, especially math, is to get teachers to remember that this is a foreign language. The symbol of a 1, the amount of a 1, the word 1, those are 3 extremely different things that we as adults, we merge together very quickly. But what we have to do is get our teachers to slow down and really see that if we can take our time so that math is never overwhelming, because it doesn't have to be. If you think about it, if we really stop and we really build math from pre-K even, then what you have are these people who are designed to think deeper in any instance. There's even research out now that says in pre-K grades, if you really focus on math and having kids explaining what they're seeing and talking about what they're seeing, that their literacy skills rise up also. The big thing with STEM is that it's the future, and we can't deny it. And I think the problem, especially in a lot of inner city communities, is that those are the things that you're being told that you're not great at. You know, oh, you're working too hard. You have to work so hard in math, and it's little reward. You know, where if we take the time to really sit down, math is almost a natural thing in elementary grades, especially at like age 3, not even grade 3. There's a natural propensity to want to sort and count and to manipulate things and to put them into different groupings. And so what happens is a lot of times that we take that away from kids. So a lot of it is that you'll see like homework being given, or like a homework time. You'll go somewhere in those homework time, and it's very quiet and everybody's just working. And I think what we need to realize is that this is the time where we need to be talking to our kids. Because you can do the homework, and that's fine, but can you explain to me the homework? Can you explain it and then be wrong? And then me, I know that what I want to do is talk to you about why it's okay to be wrong and why you're so close to being right, but if I don't talk to you about it, then all you ever know is that you were wrong. All you have to do is have a conversation. You don't have to know it. You just have to know that your kid knows it and make them teach it to you, and then you can be secure in knowing that they're on their way. Math is important for a million different reasons. Number one, you'll find math in every single day. In almost every single thing that you do, there's some component of math. And even if you want to write music, then there's patterns in all of music. If you want to do television production, if you're writing out a script, you have to time every single piece of your show. So that requires math. There's math in every sport, there's math everywhere. And even if you somehow sneak by and do something that doesn't require a ton of math, if you're great at it, then the goal is to make money. And if you make enough money, what you don't want to have to do is to entrust somebody who paid attention in math class with all of your money. You want to have a working knowledge of math so that you are always in control of your personal life, your assets, your everything. Because what we've learned is that in order to really be empowered, you have to have control over your life. So you can't say, well, now I'm a millionaire, I'm the next Jay-Z, I'm the next Steven Spielberg, but I don't know how to invest my money. When you're young, it doesn't seem important. All of these things add up to be really a part of your character and a part of your future.
That's it for The Color of STEM for today. We hope that you will consider a STEM career. Keep watching The Color of STEM, where we show you that STEM makes a difference, and so can you. See you next time, and think about STEM. I'm Allison Seymour.
Do